Hello, clowns.
I'm Ami.
I'm Yuchen, and we're the hosts of Clown Bites Podcast.
We're two best friends who are chronically online and get together weekly to laugh and discuss all the clown behavior we see on the internet.
And there's so much.
Truly so much.
We're so glad to have you here to clown around with us, and we hope you enjoy the episode.
Welcome, Black.
Welcome, Black.
What's up, clowns? How's it going? We're back again. It's been a while since we've recorded, eh?
It really
I've
has.
been saying
A.
I've been saying A so much. Chloe, if you're listening, it's because of
Are
you.
you
And it's
Irish?
not even really because of you. No, it's Canadian.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and I don't know why I started saying it because it's only happened in the last month. And so I'm trying to think who it is. It's been fun to say.
You know what's so funny is that I do feel like I pick up mannerisms from you or from my other friends, and you in turn pick up mannerisms from me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just find myself saying the weirdest shit, and then I'm thinking, I'm like, wait, Ami says this. That's why I'm saying it now.
You're welcome.
When did we start saying jail every other sentence? That's something that either you or I
don't know. Yeah, actually, you know why? It might be.
I feel like I may have started it.
Yeah, I don't remember who started at the beginning, but I do think I've overused the shit out of it. But it always gets a laugh, so then I'm enticed to say it more.
Yes. Our desire to make people laugh. Our internal desire.
Yeah. It is a crowd pleaser. I must keep doing this. So yeah, that's why.
Well, I just want to tee up this episode.
Yeah.
And that this episode's theme is all about life updates. So we're going to talk through some clown stories, some serious topics that are on our mind. I'm going to spill some tea because I just feel like we can't do a life update episode without spilling a tea. And it always has to be me because Ami is so afraid to spill any tea about herself.
Okay, I will spill some tea today too.
Really?
No, I don't know how to do it.
Okay, here's the thing. Ami will spill everyone else's tea all day, every day. When it's her time to contribute, silence. Nothing.
The people you're spilling tea about are gone.
Yeah, that's why I'll spill the tea.
That's why.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the people that I could spill the tea about, and I will allude to it, so a lot of people will get it, are in my life still. And so
yes,
I'm not.
Because Ami doesn't know how to make cuts.
Yes.
Anyways, okay. We're going to talk about friendships. We're going to talk about how the podcast is doing. Maybe some fun little updates. Give you a little bit of insight into how we produce this podcast series. And then give you a mid-year update on our 2024 intentions. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Should we start with the clown story?
Yes. And this happened to me very recently. So me and Yuchen have been traveling a lot, and some of it together, some of it not. So I literally wrote a note out of things I needed to tell Yuchen. And in the car, we were literally checking them off because I have a pea brain that remembers 0 things. But anyways.
Pea brain is also something that I picked up from you.
I don't know where I got it from. Probably some TV show. I was in Cincinnati visiting my family. I was taking a couch nap, so dead asleep. I was out. And everyone's waking me up, hurry up, Emmy, you have to go to dinner. We need to go to dinner. We're hungry, blah, blah. I'm okay. Let me just go upstairs and put on some clothes that we can leave in. I'm upstairs peeing, half asleep. My earring pops out.
How?
My new pierced earring pops out. No, I didn't touch it. Nothing was happening. All of a sudden it pops and I'm what just happened? My dog was there and I was like, Kimchi, do you see this earring? And it's in the toilet. And it's a very expensive earring. So, I had to get it and it was just peeing. So whatever. And also I've touched dog pee and poop at this point. So it's it is what it is. I can touch my own. I had to fish it out of the toilet. I washed it with some water and I yelled for my aunt. I was like, I need my mom. And my mom's not here, so you're the next best thing.
You needed some moral support at the time to tell you that what you did was fine. And it was.
Yeah. And I was like, should we try to stick my earring back in? And my aunt was like, no, let's go to dinner. Everyone was really focused on dinner. No one gave a shit about my earring. She's like, let's go to dinner. We'll deal with this when we get back. And so when we got back, she gave me a different earring to stick into my ear, and I like jabbed it in, and it's in. But I just want to say I will not be getting any more piercings, and this is it for me. The journey is over.
Me neither. I'm so surprised that you got another piercing. When did you get this?
In India. I got it in India. Well, it's because remember, like, I guess it was a year and a half ago at this point, I got the piercing, I got a keloid, it came out, but I really liked where it was. And then when we were in India, my brother was like, I want to get my ears pierced. So I was like, fuck it, I'll do it with you.
Mhm.
And so I just did it. And they didn't even put it in the place I wanted it. It was like cursed from the get-go.
I have a really complicated relationship with ear piercings too. So the max that I've ever had was 3 lobe piercings. But you know that I have been going to literally the dermatologist every few weeks to get steroid shots up my like keloid that's been forming on my ear hole. And like I've tried to pierce this twice now, and no one tells you that this is a result of getting piercings sometimes. Like the girls with so many holes and like so many piercings that look so cute could never be me. After this, I'm done.
Never.
I'm letting the third hole close up because I'm just like, also getting a steroid shot is expensive.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel nice. I'm actually so jealous of the girls who have so many piercings because I'm like, have you never dealt with a keloid? And how? What is your secret? I actually Googled it after this happened and I was like, how do you get keloids? And they said in your 20s, you're more susceptible to getting keloids. And that is when so many people get all of their piercings. So that's jail.
I wish I was the type of girl whose parents like got her piercings when she was like 1 year old. You know this type of those families.
I did that.
You did?
Yeah, but only like my first. So it's like those are solid. Nothing's ever happened to them.
Yeah.
Every other piercing I've had has been terrible.
My first piercing, I got it when I was like 16 or something. I went to Claire's or Icing's, forget which one.
Love.
And they're uneven.
Yeah. That's how my second holes are, and they're so far from my first one because it was a child piercing a child.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digressed a lot, but piercings are out.
Piercings are out. Ami and I were together recently because we went on my first ski trip, your second ski trip, but we're just going to call it your first ski trip.
Yeah. I mean, really, it was my first ski trip because my true first one was so long ago and I don't remember it.
Yes. We were basically beginners. We took a class and everyone's been asking me like, how did it go? I thought it was fun. What did you think?
I thought it was fun too. Did I wish they had easier greens? For sure. I think I'm an easy green gal. Like I can ski on an easy green all day long. I don't want to barrel down a mountain. You know? And so that would have made it a little bit more enjoyable. Also, my knee not hurting. Also, me not falling on the middle of a cliff and then having to walk my skis down a little bit. Yeah, like right under a chairlift. People were yelling at me. That was not fun.
They were yelling of encouragement.
No, some people were not. Some people were not. Yeah, some people were like,
that's so rude.
Yeah, but then the loudest people were trying to explain like how I should do this. And I was like, thank you. I appreciate that. And then people were not even stopping when they were skiing by me to be like, are you okay? And then I also got run over by a skateboarder like at a different time.
No, not a skateboarder, a snowboarder.
I mean, sorry, a snowboarder.
Same.
Imagine. Yeah, same thing. But it was fun. I do think it was fun. And this time was better for me because I think I was less scared, which is good.
I always tell people I had a lot of fun. I think it would be a lot more fun if I was just a lot better.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Obviously. I mean, like everything is more fun if you're good at it.
And
It's
no
just
one
life, I
told
guess.
me how much my shins would hurt while walking on snow boots. But everyone that I've been like telling this story to, they're like, it's just a mental hurdle that you have to get through. Like suddenly it clicks and it like no longer hurts. But yes, everyone instantly knew what I was talking about. And I was like, okay, it's not just me being a big baby.
Yeah, no, that happened to me my first time, but this time I was fine. Like I didn't have any shin issues. So maybe it's your body being like, this, you have to go through this the first time, but then you're done.
Should we talk about our ski lessons with our favorite instructor, Miguel?
Yes, favorite and only, honestly, but that's besides the point.
Okay, so we did a group lesson in the morning with a bunch of adults, and honestly, they taught us very little things. They taught us how to like get on and off the skates and like basic pizzaing, essentially.
Yeah.
But anything
That's
other
fair.
than that, I don't think they prepared us to go down a run, which
No.
means we should have taken more lessons. But luckily, we ran into our ski instructor in the afternoon, and he was so nice to like basically give us free afternoon skiing lessons.
Yeah, for like an hour private lesson. It was like really nice of him.
Mm-hmm.
I have found that ski instructors are just extremely nice and willing to
So nice, yeah.
always like help out.
Except for your
Which
one ski instructor that
is
you
nice.
had.
Yeah. Yes. She was trying to help out with tough love, and I was not
You're not a tough love type of person.
receiving that. No,
Yeah.
no. What I did think was nice about Big Bear was, I don't know if we even said we went to Big Bear. Snow Summit at Big Bear. The like ski school slope, bunny slope, also has like a lift that you can take up a little bit higher
Mhm.
to where it's a little longer of a bunny run than I feel like I've seen before, which I have very little experience, so who knows.
Mhm.
But he rode the lift with us a few times, gave us a lot more pointers I thought were helpful.
Mhm.
And he was encouraging, but also it was good because the day that we saw him the first day, we were like, okay, we're going to go up and do Summit Run, the green that goes down. And he was just kind of like,
The only green that goes down.
was like, maybe you guys shouldn't. And at the time, I'm like, you're overthinking this and you're just saying that because like it's a green. It'll be fine. No, I'm so glad we didn't do that. I would have not skied the second day had we done that.
Yes, apparently, according to the Reddit users, Summit Run is on the harder side of a green.
Yeah.
And so I've been telling everyone we went down a hard green, so we're considering it a blue.
Yeah, it's a blue in my mind. I feel like it was blue through and through.
So on our first day when we were arriving to Big Bear, we got lunch at this cute little diner, and we were eating lunch like pretty late, so it was just like us and the waiter, and he was trying to have small talk with us, which I'm really bad at small talk is what I've realized. But
it was also like we were not trying to have small talk.
We were in a business meeting.
Yeah, we were in an intense clown vibes meeting, like talking about ideas like this and that. It was a lot of brainstorming, and he was like peppering questions to us while we were clearly busy.
Clearly. And he was just asking us like, oh, what brought you here? Where are you guys from? He's a local, so he sees a lot of people come up to Big Bear to ski. He's like, oh, are you here with a big group of friends? And we're like, no, it's just us. And I think you and I both had the same thoughts at the same time that like this stings a little bit, but also who we are internally as people. We are not big ski group people.
No, we're not even big group people.
We're not.
Like we've tried that and it failed.
By try, I mean like 4 people. 4 people's a group to me.
No, 6 people. Remember a steady run?
Oh my God. I blocked that out of my memory.
That was a lot of people. And each weekend caused so much drama. But anyway.
And I feel like that really prompted us to start talking about friendships and how we've been viewing friendships a lot, because you and I have both been in weird friendship situations lately, and no one prepares you for this as an adult. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I felt like friendships were so easy back in high school or college. But now that we're in our 20s, I feel like they get more and more difficult sometimes.
I think you're right, because also there's like, you don't have expectations at any of those stages, right? Like you're either just there having a good time or you're not. But like now we have so many other things going on, and there's so much expectation misalignment between everyone, right? Like everyone expects different things from their friends, and there's no communication about it usually, or like something has to prompt communication about it, which people don't like to do, me especially.
Ami's classic confrontation tactic is to write it down in a notes app. Can we say this?
The person read it.
Yeah,
we can have it. It's not confrontation. It's just the only way I can like bring up something that's bothering me. And like the second time I was going to do it, I was telling my therapist, and she was just like, honestly, you're 1 for 1 with that. So like, go ahead. I'm 2 for 2 now.
I'm like afraid that Ami's going to serve me with a note.
No, our friendship is like very different than like I feel like my other friendships. So I wouldn't. It would be more like, actually, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it will be the notes app.
Would you say that we're both moving into a new phase of how we're viewing friendships right now? Like, first of all,
Oh,
I'm
100%.
seeing so many TikToks about like people saying they feel insecure about not having a friend group. And,
Yeah.
even though that comment that guy made kind of stung a little bit, like, yeah, I wish we could get a big cabin and like split rent and go down a slope with all of our friends. But like,
Yeah.
just knowing who I am as a person, A, that would give me anxiety, like so much planning anxiety.
Yeah.
B, I don't even think I like that many people, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very much if I like you, we're going to be close. If I don't really like you or I'm iffy about you, I'm going to keep you a little bit at a distance. And like, if I'm traveling with you, 9 times out of 10, I feel close to you or I want to get close to you. And so just like that realization in the moment made me realize like, I don't need to be stressed about not having a big friend group. I don't need to be stressed about having a big bridal party whenever the time comes.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with where I am in my life right now. And I'm ready to make more cuts, honestly, if need to be.
Yes. What did I say my motto was going to be? I think maybe it's tighten the circle.
You
Was it
said
something like
no
that?
new friends except for a few. Which did not ring at all, but I was like, she's gonna need to finesse this.
Yeah, it was no new or old friends except for a few. Like it was a lot longer.
Very specific.
It was a very specific, but no. It is, I think, tightening the circle, which is a very common intention for a lot of people, I think, especially these days.
Okay, should I spill some tea?
Yes, spill away.
Okay. Well, so Nico and I have been dating almost 2 years now. Isn't that so crazy to think about?
Yeah.
And every time I meet someone new who heard that I had a boyfriend or I'm like meeting them for the first time and they somehow like bring him up, they always ask us like, how did you two meet? And it's kind of become a joke now where we feel comfortable saying this, but I used to get a lot of anxiety every time someone asked me this question.
Yeah.
But now I just say, oh, we met through a mutual friend who we're no longer friends with. And it kind of gets like a little bit of a chuckle. And some people are just like smiling and like they kind of get it.
Yeah.
I think it's a more common occurrence than I think it is. But then there are some people who like poke and ask a few questions and then I like try to keep it vague. But the reason why I say that we're no longer friends is because then they'll ask about the meeting story and then I have to kind of like explain it. And they ask, did the friend like set you guys up? And then I have to like explain it in more details. So I feel like going straight in with like just the tidbit is enough for them to like kind of get it and maybe not ask as many questions. Yeah. But you know what? Nico and I actually had a debrief about this last night. Like we were just chatting about it. And I feel comfortable kind of talking about it in this podcast because you know what? There's nothing that I'm about to say that I wouldn't say directly to this person. I just have never felt the need to directly reach out and say, by the way, like we're not really talking anymore because of this. And I just wanted to let you know. There's no reason to. If you wanted to hear it, you will reach out and I will give it to you. I've never been disrespectful to this person ever.
No, you haven't.
I just think like it worked out for us in the best way that it could. And maybe it was meant to be this way.
Yeah. I think from the get-go of that friendship, I was like, this is not a good idea.
Hindsight 2020.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like it produced results, but whenever you did start first hanging out with this person, I was always like, ugh.
But like hindsight is 2020 because sometimes you would get that visceral reaction about another person who I'm no longer friends with. And you know what? Lesson learned. I think I just got to trust your gut.
I think you do too.
But anyways, I was introduced to this person through another person who I am also actively no longer in contact with. First red flag. And then we honestly didn't really hang out frequently at all. Like I was busy.
Yeah.
It would be like a hangout maybe once a month, once every like 2 month type of situation. And we would be hanging out as a group. He had invited me to like a bunch of these group activities. And that's where I met Nico once. And like I met Nico at a time where I was extremely vulnerable and sad.
Yeah.
Do you remember the day that I
I
had
do.
met him and
Yeah.
I had texted you and I was like, oh, there's this really cute guy here, but this and this, and I'm still feeling sad, blah, blah, blah. And I
Yeah.
just like thought nothing of it. Well, fast forward a month where I'm going through my healing journey. You're in town in San Francisco and we're like having a really good time. That weekend, I'm going to the mutual friend's birthday party and Nico is there. And that's the like night that we kind of hit it off. And I felt like I was almost recovered enough to like even flirt with someone again.
Yeah.
But I felt like, you know, when you're first going on like a first few date type of situation, you're not really telling anyone anything unless it's like your close
No.
friends, because me and the mutual friend are not the type of friends where we're telling each other our dating situation. It's like we're not that close at all. But when Nico and I first started dating, the mutual friend would invite us to do these group activities and like I would go, but I would be the only one that actually got invited. And I would ask our mutual friend, I was like, oh, is it okay if like Nico comes? Like we're all going to hang out together. And he's like, yeah. And so he kind of put two and two together. And I was like really feeling like I needed to walk on eggshells here because I didn't want to make things weird for the mutual friend because I didn't know where he stand. But it's not like I was going to ask him about it because he like point blank like would make jokes and be like, oh, I like that my friends are happy, like blah, blah, blah. Like basically telling us that it's okay. But you know what?
I think it was weird from the get-go that he didn't invite Nico. Like, I think he already knew.
Really?
Yeah. Like, why would he not invite Nico? Nico and him were technically better friends. Like, they had known each other longer than you had known him. No?
See, like, that's what I thought. But in Nico's and I's debrief last night, he was basically telling me that he felt weird vibes from this person even before he and I got together. Like,
I'm sure.
He always felt like this friend was like a frenemy to him, similar to like my frenemy situations too. Like he liked him, but he didn't.
No, he gives a lot of frenemy vibes.
It gives a lot of frenemy vibes. And you know what? I was trying to give everyone, you know, the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Anyways, me and the mutual friend and our mutual friend are all hanging out. Nico's not there because he's not in this like smaller friend group, and we're drinking, we're, you know, having a good time. And you know how I kind of started to get the sense that this friend wasn't okay with the situation. So I told our mutual friend, who I was a lot closer with at the time, I said, hey, don't bring Nico up. Don't ask about Nico in front of him because I don't want to get into an uncomfortable conversation. And she's like, yeah, totally get it. The night goes on. She somehow forgets or something. I don't fucking know. But
she didn't forget.
She brings Nico up and that sets the guy up. And there were other situations where like I'm asking the guy like, oh, hey, are you seeing anyone? Like, what's the situation like? Like very casually. And he would like respond like very quickly, but then turn it around and like immediately start talking about Nico. And like whenever he's drunk, he would say the like weirdest, like meanest things about Nico. And you know what? I almost don't even think he remembers it, but I do. And I would try to like
I
brush
remember
it. Yeah, I felt so uncomfy. I would like, you know, try to like brush it off because I didn't want to ruin the night. It was a friend's birthday party, blah, blah, blah. But like I immediately knew that he didn't like Nico because he was trying to trash talk him in front of me, like specifically in front of me. And I was trying to like not make such a big deal about it. I was trying to like digest how I was feeling. And the next day when he was sober, it was all like good vibes with him knowing that me and Nico were somewhat dating. And so the fact that it was a drunken situation made it even worse because you know your truest, most vile thoughts come out when you're drunk. Like that's a human thing.
Oh, I know.
And so because I knew how he was feeling deep down and the fact that like he deliberately said those things to me to make me feel a certain type of way, like made me realize that I didn't want anything to do with this guy. If you were really concerned about us dating, you would come to me in a serious manner and say like, hey, I don't think this guy is good because of X, Y, and Z while you're sober, instead of the things that you said to me while you were drunk. And you know what?
To be rude.
To be rude. Exactly. And like we're adults, at least I am. And I would have received whatever you wanted to say in an adult manner, but you chose to do it in a very childish way that lost a lot of respect for me. Anyways, I slowly iced the guy out. I don't know if iced is the right word. I just I wasn't going to reach out, and he would reach out a couple of times, but
it was slow fade.
Yeah, the plans never worked out. I don't have any animosity towards this guy. Nico and I talked about it last night, and it's deep down, a lot of these people that we have issues with, they're not bad people. They're not even bad friends in general. They just maybe made a mistake in the friendship that we had with this person. And unfortunately, I can't speak for Nico, but I don't think this is something that I'm going to ever look past or forgive, nor do I really feel like I need to. We weren't even that close to begin with, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's just it is what it is. Even down the line, sometimes he would reply to my story and always kind of bring up Nico, always trying to talk about Nico, to the point where I just I felt super weird about it. Our friendship should be our friendship without the fact that I'm dating your other friend. But the fact that you always made me feel like it was somehow about Nico, it just left a really sour taste in my mouth.
It was clear indication of his deep rooted jealousy towards Nico. Obviously.
Yeah. And jealousy exists in a lot of friendships.
Yeah.
We've all experienced jealousy.
For sure.
I think part of growth as a human being and what I expect out of friends. And I think we're going to get into this in terms of our expectations of friendship values. But I would say if jealousy is a factor, you need to be cognizant of it, and you need to
for sure
through it as an adult.
You know what I have been really thinking about lately, and which is also prompting a lot of the friendship thoughts in my mind, is bringing the wrong audience in to your issue or spiral or whatever it is, and not understanding which audience should be there helping you through it. I think in this situation especially, he was taking it up with the wrong people.
Yeah. And I get that, maybe when he was drunk, he wasn't in full control of his action. I totally get that. But it doesn't negate the fact that it happened and made me feel a very certain type of way. And I remember watching this TikTok about this girl who was in the same room with a bunch of other girls, and the person that she was talking to was oh, hey, let's go say hi to these people. And the girl was you know what, you go ahead, I can't. And the girl was really confused, and she's you know what, they met me at a time where I wasn't able to work on myself, and I did certain things that they know me as a different person, and I have to live with those consequences. And that's a very mature way to think about it. And trust me, I've been in that position before. There are people who will probably never want to be my friends either. And I'm living with those consequences.
No, for sure. So let's talk about our new, this is not even new, and I don't even think it's unique to us whatsoever, but our new friendship diagram. This is super not new.
We need so much guidance that we have to draw it out.
Okay, this is how I depict it in my mind. I don't know that we've really spoken about how we visualize it, but it's circles, right, of bands closest to you. And I am realizing more and more that I had too many people in the closest band that I don't think should have been there. And I have this issue in general anyway, is that I think when things are good, we're good. And I'm one of those people who is just oh yeah, I'm close to a lot of people. And I don't want to be. I do not want to be.
I think one thing that you specifically struggle with is when a friend is in the close friend circle, you think they're going to stay there forever. I think we all kind of struggle with that.
That's why I've accumulated so many people in this small circle.
And what's clicking in my mind is no, people are moving in and out. After every interaction, I'm reassessing and I'm moving you in and out. Staying in the close friend circle is not a guarantee. Just because we grew up together or we have this experience together doesn't doesn't mean you can stay in the close friend circle. And that's okay.
Yeah. I think also what sucks is the narrative on social media about like having a bunch of friends, like this and that. Like that, I think has always been a proponent of why, and not the whole thing, but like a small sliver of why I keep so many people in this circle that like are not there. And I also have a hard time because some people, like I'm allowing them in my mind to move in and out. But there are a few people that I always am like, no, you're stuck here. And I don't give that same like grace in my mind, if that makes sense.
Do you think you need to allow them to move back and forth out of the close friend circle? Or like,
I don't know about back and forth, but I need to allow myself to move them away and like give myself that permission.
So in my mind, there's the close friend circle, very close to me. Then there's, you know, the friend circle. I can count on them. I can reach out and like casually talk to them. And then there's the acquaintance circle. And I feel like I am always muddying between friends and acquaintances because I used to, whenever I meet someone and we talk and like we hit it off, I instantly think, oh, we're friends. Not the case. Not the case. Nowadays, the ramp up to get from acquaintances to friends is like lengthy. And after my situation last year where I ended up like removing a friend from like any circle, I'm just realizing I need to extend that ramp up even further.
Yeah. Meanwhile, my ramp is so small. So like all the way to the middle. And like I need to elongate that so severely. It's hard because there are some situations where it worked out so well for me. And like I have them in my close friend circle and like they're not people that I am saying should move out almost permanently. It's a fine line.
You know how when you're dating someone, everyone says like, oh, the like hot and heavy first dates, they always crash and burn super fast. It's all about the slow burn.
Yeah.
I'm starting to
like that in
realize
friendships too.
that it's the same in friendships. Like people who we're like bantering and having a good time with, I feel like can be very surface level at times. And I say this because, you know, I recently had a realization that someone I considered a friend, I feel like we would be better off as acquaintances. I was telling Nico this last night, but I was like, I don't think I've ever felt good around her unless we were both drunk.
I agree.
And he's
that.
like, that's not a good sign of a friendship.
not.
And I'm just like, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. It's tough. And I think the lines between each circle are so blurred. And in my mind, for my future self, I need the circle to be fucking huge. And like that to me depicting the journey it takes to get to the middle.
I've definitely contracted my rings too. It's just like no one is getting in. In fact, I'm pushing some people out because breakups itself, like romantic breakups hurt. It's almost textbook on how to like move on with your life. I mean, I say this very casually, but it is very hard. Friendship breakups are soul crushing. You think about it forever. Like I have friendship breakups from my past that I still think about very frequently. Yeah. And not a like, oh, I miss them type of way, but like I reflect on them. They're life-changing to me.
It goes back to the situation where it's like, you know, that if you're into monogamous, how the fuck do I say this word?
If you're into monogamous.
If you're into monogamous relationships, like you'll only have one of this person, but like you can have so many friends and like you don't ever go into friendships thinking like they're not going to be there for the long term, regardless of which circle they're in.
Exactly. Well, that's our life update section. This is something that honestly has been weighing on our minds a lot.
Constantly.
And I do wish people talked about it more, but it's like, who do we talk to about our friendship issues that we have with friends? If not with other friends that we might eventually have friendship issues
with. I know. Sometimes I get nervous, but you know what? I like really don't even consider you in the friend. Like you are family. So it's like different in that I fight with Keishan all the time, but we're fine. And not that we fight all the time, but like we'll be fine because there's no other option for us.
Seriously, no other option. Let's talk about Clown Vibes podcast. Is everyone enjoying season 2?
I feel like it's been hit or miss. Hit or miss with the listens. Well, a little bit. I mean, I guess like it's hard because our barometer has changed a lot from last year because we did have some success on TikTok that led to a lot of new listens. And I think going into this season, our expectations were maybe a little bit too high.
I've always like set the goal high and then be prepared to be disappointed. Okay, but what has been your pit and peak so far of season 2?
Ooh. Peak has been just in general. I feel like recording has it's always been fun, but I think we're like in a very different stride.
Yeah.
Now,
whenever we take a break from recording, I'm always just like, are we going to be awkward on camera?
Yeah.
And we're not. We're podcasters, and this is my podcasting voice.
We are. It's like a muscle memory now to us, and I think that it's been so fun. I have really enjoyed our topics this season. I think every one of them I'm very interested in. So that has been my peak. I'm going to think on pit. What's your peak?
My peak is, I don't know if this is going to happen, but ABC 2020 reached out to us and they want to use one of our videos for a future episode. So TBD. But the fact that a major news network reached out, that is really big for such a small podcast. So
for sure.
ABC 2020.
I told my family and my dad was like, wow, congratulations. And my uncle was like, damn, I mean, even your dad's proud of you. But yeah, okay, that is a great peak. I think my pit, and I don't know if this was ever going to get out of the pit, is just how volatile TikTok is. While I don't feel like we've tried to like overdo quantity because we're focused on quality, sometimes it's like we spend so much time on a video and then it like crashes and burns. And I'll never get used to that.
I wish we would just have consistent performance across TikTok and like see constant growth. And I do applaud content creators who get up every day and keep going, even when they're not getting the metrics that they want to hit, because it is really soul crushing. And I'm so glad that it's the two of us working on this, because I feel like I would have quit if it was just me. Like, it's just too demotivating.
And like, I recently have been seeing a lot of creators who have so much following, but I'll see their video and it's like at 1,000 views. And what I especially hate about TikTok is sometimes they don't even push your videos to everyone that follows you. So it makes it hard. And then it also makes it like, what's the point of the following? You're only trying to ever achieve like the high of one video going viral.
Yeah.
You know?
That is really tough. My pit, though, this is going to be kind of funny, is my Wi-Fi issue.
Yes, that's fair.
That
it has been a tough situation.
Yeah, but lately it's gotten better.
One time Yuchen was like, should I try to get T-Mobile Wi-Fi? And like that, we have reached the bottom of the barrel if you're trying to switch to T-Mobile.
We've both been there,
you
though.
guys. Yeah, you guys, I was successful in December in getting my rate lowered to T-Mobile's rate at Spectrum. So
and you know what?
After a year-long journey, I have achieved my goal.
Throwback, because you talked about the story in our first ever episode of Clown Vibes, and it's a full circle
only
moment.
A true homie would know. What I actually learned from that experience, which I will pass on my knowledge to you, but like, you just have to keep calling. And I gave up too easily at the beginning. Like, I only called a few times. I should have called once a week. And I think that's my new standard of like, if I want something to happen with customer service, I will call once a week until I get a winner.
I will say, shout out to the people working customer service.
Yeah.
I think that's a really tough job.
It is.
It can't be me. I would cry every day.
I would
cry if I got you on the line.
No, I'm so nice on the line. And like, if you tell me no, like, that's fine. I will hang up and try again.
Okay, this isn't a pit for this season, but a pit for, I'm going to consider it last season, is, so we did have a TikTok that went pretty viral. I would say like all of our more viral content is us being a little bit mean or saying nothing, essentially. And I hate that, honestly. Like, that's not what Clown Vibes is, but unfortunately, I guess it's what works in the algorithm and what the audience wants. But for our influencer podcast episode, I had stitched this one influencer who was honestly acting a bit like a clown. Honestly, I am going to be very truthful about it. She was a bit of a clown.
And it's like, fine. Everyone has their clown moments.
Yeah. I kind of like said, oh, like this is really weird. And then highlighting certain things that we wanted to talk about in the episode. And it kind of blew up. And
it did.
People were on one side super supportive of what we were saying. And then there were the people who called me insecure, said I was weird.
Yeah. And they were like, sorry you're poor. And it's like, we didn't say that was the issue.
But like, thanks, because I am poor.
We still get comments like that to this day. And it has been 3 months since you posted the video.
It's hard putting ourselves out there. Okay, so I was watching the Love is Blind reunion last night, and you know how they called out Sarah Ann for saying it's showbiz, blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
It is. That's what we're doing too. Like, do we actually believe X, Y, and Z? Am I that offended by the fact that her rent is $6,000? No.
Yeah.
Seven.
No.
I'm truly not offended, but like it was good content and that's showbiz, baby. Like I am poor though. I will say that. And you should feel sorry for me.
Yeah, like the thing is, and I have been trying to be more cognizant about this, not that I have achieved this goal at all, but of saying that we're poor because we're not.
We're not, yeah.
We're just not well off enough to pay $7,000 in rent and not bat an eye.
And not everyone can. Like there were comments saying, haha, you've never lived in New York. That's just New York. I have lived in New York,
you have.
Bitch.
Yeah.
And I would never pay $7,000 at my age and at her age. Like that's just, I don't think that's responsible. If I did, I wouldn't have posted it the way I did.
Yes. She actually like rebutted your video.
I know.
Without saying it. I wish she would have mentioned us.
She was like, this girl stitched my video. And I was like, that's me. I'm that girl.
But she was like, I have worked really hard to like get where I am. I don't come from money. And it's like, that's not the point.
I don't doubt that. Yeah.
I applaud you. And like, obviously we're like a little bit jealous that you did that. The point is like, one, you understand then, like you should have a deep understanding of how it would feel to like see someone that you don't feel like is working as hard as you, making that kind of money. And then two, it also made me think like, man, dude, you need a financial planner. This is very bad money management for a career that could go under immediately, especially like the way you're talking, you don't have a backup plan.
Yeah. And, you know, with the TikTok ban that's coming soon, like who knows? Okay, I just want to quickly talk about the TikTok ban because do we actually think it's going to happen?
No.
Because, okay, remember when Uber and Lyft got banned in
Austin? Oh, that
and
did
then
happen,
that year, there were like a bunch of like small little Uber and Lyfts that came up. If that's what happens to TikTok, that's exactly what's going to happen. And then they're going to go right back to TikTok. People are going to be super upset. I think it's feasible that we might lose TikTok for like a week.
Yeah.
But then they're going to be right back.
No. You know what? India banned TikTok. There are still Indian creators on TikTok, and you just get a VPN. So it's like, fine. We're not losing TikTok. And honestly, like that might help us if like it goes under for a week and
we got to hop on to like the next one immediately.
That week we need to be doing the 3 video a day situation. We need to store some content up for that.
Yeah. Okay, very quickly, how is your 2024 goal going?
Okay, so my 2024 goal was, again, to be unbothered. It's not going that well.
You've been so bothered this year.
I've been so bothered. No, I've been so bothered in the last month. I think in January, I was coasting.
Yeah.
And the last month, things have gotten out of hand. My goal now is to get back to at least January level. Like, there's a lot of things coming up for me that I think are just huge obstacles to this goal for me. So I'm working on it.
You have another 6 months to work on it. So
yeah,
all that's to say is I'm actually very proud of you for how you handled certain situations. And you know what I'm really proud of you for is the situation that has like been haunting you for the past 3 years prior to 2024.
Yeah.
It hasn't really been a situation. At least I don't think it's really been a situation.
No, it hasn't.
In 2024.
It hasn't.
That's a huge deal.
That is such a huge deal, actually. Wow.
Exactly. Wow, we're growing up.
I know. Even my therapist will say, like, you're doing a good job. And, like, think about how you would have been, like, 2 years ago. And I'm like, you're so right.
Mhm.
I would have been in a fucking cave right now.
Therapy actually does work. Shout out Kelsey.
Yeah. Shout out Kelsey. I wonder if Kelsey listens. I'm going to ask her this week. She's going to be like, no. How is your 2024 goal going? Which was TikTok.
Yes, if the audience remembers or you didn't listen to that episode, I had the ambitious goal to get us to 5,000 followers. Either Clown Vibes or my personal one. I will say Clown Vibes is stuck at like 750 or something like that.
The growth to 750 was quick
comparatively.
And this is the thing. It's like so hit or miss.
It's so hit or miss. I'm just like, I know what will get us to 5,000. I gotta go unfiltered with my thoughts and just be the biggest bitch online and maybe we'll get followers. But like, that's not what Clown Vibes is.
Yeah. And there's like a cost benefit analysis to that too.
Yeah.
I think your goal is still very achievable and it is so based on the TikTok gods.
Please, TikTok gods. I was about to ask you to make this your 11/11 wish, but like,
no.
We recently restructured your 11/11 wish. And I don't think this is going to make it, unfortunately.
No, it's not. My 11/11 wish is like extremely reserved right now for someone's downfall. And I'll get back to my regular scheduled programming once that occurs. Thanks so much for listening. You can follow us on all social media at Clown Vibes Podcast or email us at clownvibespodcast@gmail.com.
And if you like our show and want to support us, please like, subscribe, and give us a rating and review. That's it for today. Bye, clowns.
Bye, clowns.